We did a video on Friday where we showed you a short video of the recovery of the tender Real Wild, which was from motor yacht Loon that crashed onto the rocks there in St. Bart's. Now, you might be shocked to hear this, but there was a lot of criticism of the recovery in the comments section of that video. I know what you're thinking, like, how amazing, like, how can you be suggesting that people actually saying negative comments in the comment section? Well, it's true. It happens. And, there was a lot of comment. I saw a lot of the comments myself. The thing is, from my point of view, experience, 20 years experience, 25 years experience at sea, I know to not look at a piece of footage and just assume a lot of things, which is what was happening in the comments section. A lot of people saying they should have used a floating barge with a crane. They should have done this and that. Well, the reality is that the people who were commenting most likely just saw that one piece of video, and they don't know how deep the water is there. You don't know any of the details that you need to have to be able to form a plan to recover a vessel like that. We actually got an email from the salvage company themselves. I think they're called Husky Salvage and Towing, and they wanted to address it because obviously they're not very happy about the comments. I told them they shouldn't just not read the comments because there's a lot of stuff in there that doesn't make any sense. So anyway, they've sent us a statement and an explanation of some of the things, probably addressing some of the comments because I haven't read all of the comments, but I saw a few of them. So I'm going to read the statements. This also sent some extra video footage as well, so we can look at it whilst I'm reading out this statement. So they say, firstly, due to the time of year and the swell conditions, options such as equipment from land or from a crane barge was absolutely out of the question, leaving no choice but to take it out over very sharp rocks. There was no road to the crash site and everything had to be launched by water through the swells, swam by divers, or carried over the shoreline. Secondly, the video shown, that's the video that we showed on the channel, was taken on the calmest day in weeks, which is why we chose it. For the previous 3 weeks, there were 6-foot rollers coming in and breaking over the boat. The task of working in those conditions is extremely dangerous for the crew in the water and hard on the equipment. Not shown in the video were 3 days of preparation with 10 experienced salvors, all while racing against a very small weather window. These preparations included patching holes in the hull, which you'll see in the videos, and placing tyres, pallets and rubber over the rocks to protect the hull and lift bags during extraction. These preparations proved effective by the fact that the hull took no more damage during the extraction and remained floating. Thirdly, with regards to the engines, they were already deemed to have had no value as they were smashed to bits and submerged in breaking swells for 5 weeks. This was actually one of the popular comments, was that they'd wrecked the engines in the salvage. So these engines had already been written off, apparently. It says, in fact, 2 of them had already separated and were held with rope. They said, after 35 years in the business, I challenge anyone to remove 4 1,100-pound outboards in 6-foot swells. 1,100 pounds, about 500 kilos, by the way. Lastly, after much consideration, it was decided to take out a bow first because it was trapped by boulders, making it impossible to pull out from the stern. Furthermore, it would have put our tug beam to incoming swells in very shallow water. So that tug all the way out there was in very shallow water. So that gives you an idea about just how shallow the water is. Marine salvage is a very challenging job that depends on many variables, largely weather. There's always much more to these jobs than anyone could ever understand from watching a video. I completely agree with that. It's very easy to look at something and say, well, I could have done better than that myself, because you don't have to deal with all the details, And also, it's very important to remember that in very many instances when a vessel is grounded like this, the protection of the vessel is not always the priority. Very often it's the least of priorities. It's more often the damage to the coral reefs or to the shoreline that's the priority. Like if we think about Nakoa in Hawaii in 2023, when they pulled that off there, their only priority was the preservation of the corals and stuff like that. They didn't care about the boat at all, which you could see because they towed it out and it sank. And that was a $2.5 million boat. So I've actually got some information about another boat that's run aground in almost the same place, which we'll come to in a minute. But yeah, you've got to remember these things. Boat is not always the priority, especially when it's already been heavily damaged. Thanks very much for watching this video. You've been watching a Super Yacht News clip. If you'd like to see the full unedited Super Yacht News video, you can click on the link over here. You can also find our channel links below here. And if you'd like to see more shorter videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to this channel.